moviegoer fans. Now, I'm reviewing another movie. I reviewed one earlier. Now, this movie is called AI, Artificial Intelligence. Now, this movie, AI, Artificial Intelligence, is created by none other than legendary movie director Steven Spielberg. Now, this guy has wrote so many good movies, from Indiana Jones. He co-produced Star Wars with one of my favorites, George Lucas. He's also produced, like I said, Indiana Jones and a lot of other good movies, including my childhood favorite, E.T. He's just one of them filmmakers whom I really like. Now, in this film, supposedly, half the world was destroyed by some kind of gas, nuclear chaos, and so then scientists, because of that, decided to play God to bring back family members who have died. Basically creating robotic humans. Now, the thing is, playing God is not a good thing. Let's get that out of the way. Now, to be honest with you, this movie, AI, Artificial Intelligence, is a little weird to me. And then there's a scene where this science professor, in the beginning of the film, it goes into details of why humans have created these robots and how technology has changed so much. And then he brings up the conversation of pleasure bots. Yeah, pleasure bots, which is inappropriate, especially when talking to a high school full of students. Now, sheesh, this movie is PG-13, and, come on, they went a little too far with the explanation of pleasure bots. Let's be honest. Now, this movie gets even more weird. Okay? What ends up happening is the professor later on in the movie explains about creating a child robot whom can love unconditionally. The thing I don't get is, how could something without a soul that's not even human love unconditionally? How could a robot love unconditionally, even if it is artificial? That's the main thing I don't get with this film. Now, this movie gets even more weird, okay? I gotta admit, the special effects for this movie are just phenomenal. I gotta give it a thumbs up as far as, special effects. This film, man, gets even weird. There are several loopholes in this film, I have to admit. It ends up going into where the Professor Henry had lost his son, who's not necessarily lost his son. His son's in a coma, from what I could gather from watching the film. And he ends up basically having a robotic version of his son created. The F-bomb is used one time in this film. There are 0 D words, really. There are 0 SH words. However, the thing is, the Lord's name is vain. The Lord's name is used in vain several times. Now, what's also crazy about this film is, if you want the robotic or artificial intelligence to stay with you, you must imprint yourself on it. Wow. Yikes. Now, However, if you want to send it back for destruction, that you could do that. As the professor explains to his wife when she finds out that he brought home robotics version of their son, which at first she's not happy about. He explains to her the details that if they don't want it, they can send it for dismantlement. But they do want it, you have to imprint yourself on it. Now the storyline is about dealing with loss of a loved one, obviously. Now the really creepy scene is, one of the creepy scenes is in this movie, is when the professor's wife's hands the robotic version of her son a teddy bear. She hands him a teddy bear. It's creepy because get this. That teddy bear, like, she tells the kid, this is what she says directly. She goes, "This used to be my son's teddy bear, one of his favorite toys." And then in a creepy voice, the robotic teddy bear looks at her and goes, "I'm not a toy." And that creeped me out. It was trippy. This teddy bear could talk, walk, anything. And then another creepy scene is where the robotic kid starts mimicking what's being said on the phone, on the answering machine, using the voices, the exact voices of the people talking on the answering machine of the phone. Now, there's another line where the creepy teddy bear says some other weird stuff. Like, there's this scene where the kid is eating it at the dinner table. And the teddy bear looks at the robotic kid and goes, "You will break." And from there, the movie gets even creepier, because after the robotic teddy bear says that, the robotic kid starts stuffing his food in the mouth, and the kid's not even supposed to be eating because he's a robotic. And then the kid malfunctions, goes to a hospital. It's really weird, because he goes to a robotic hospital where they're trying to fix him up and stuff, which is really disturbing scene. And then there's another one where this human son tucks the robotic son into going into their mom's room, and cutting a thing of her hair with scissors. Okay, that's creepy. Then the film gets creepier because there's another scene where these kids are curious to see if the robotic child feels pain, so they stab him with a knife in the arm. And then the robotic son hides, like, behind the human son, and accidentally pulls him into the water. Basically, they trip into the water, and the whole time the robotic son is grabbing onto the human son, almost drowning the kid. And then the violence in this film gets even crazier, because then when the mother decides she can't keep the robotic son, she takes him to the woods and just abandons him, leaving him with one warning: don't trust humans, don't talk to them, only communicate with your own kind, which is mechas. Mechas is what these robotics are called. And then the film gets more creepier. There are scenes where he ends up meeting this guy who's a mecha. Now this guy, there's one scene where before the kid meets him, this guy literally is like, it shows him getting framed for murder. He's in a room with a naked girl who's dead on the bed, showing her back areas. Okay? And then the film gets even more inappropriate with scenes of people shooting robots, using basically cannons, killing robots, shooting them out of it. There's scenes of robotics getting chopped in half, hacked up by these mecha killer soldiers, kind of like the mecha police. Destroy all the ones that are useless, they don't want around, just for fun, some of them. And this film, man, goes extremely violent for a PG-13 film. Really weird, really messed up, and I have to admit, the only thing I really like about this film is the visual effects. They do a good job making everything look good, realistic, but the violence. This movie, if you're a Christian, will mess with your head. That crazy. Just a really crazy film. It has a heavy metal rock band with cowboy hats and skull mask on, and it's just extreme. This film is weird, but I have to admit, not a good film for Christians. It will mess with your head. Lots of senseless violence, just brutality for a PG-13 film. Just really out there. I was just like, whoa. Yeah, this film is just out there for a PG-13 film. Oh man, this film is not really a good, appropriate film. Yeah, so I had to say to George Lucas, his protege, his friend, I had to say to George Lucas's friend, Steven Spielberg, come on. You usually work on kids' films, and you need to stick to that. Star Wars, you worked on, Steven Spielberg worked on that film with George Lucas, and did a really good job. I love the Indiana Jones films. I love the E.T. film. This film is unusual. Very weird. So, that's all I have to say about that. People, if you like my movie reviews, please subscribe, or at least push like, the like button. Thank you, God bless, and join me next time on Christian Movie Reviews.